It's not easy being likeable on screen, as I'm proving right now, but is there anything I can do about it? To improve my chances, I went on a crash course with presenting instructor Brian Naylor.
That would be pretty solid, although I might sort of just bend my knees a little bit. That would be solid. What I'm trying to avoid is people doing this or moving their way.
See, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Here I am rocking about on last week's show.
Also, stop yourself from travelling, which is when, you know, it just shows you're a little bit nervous and you're going backwards and forwards.
I do that too. Yeah, look at me here, jigging like a prick.
Keep eye contact with the lens, okay, of the camera. In fact, some presenters do pop a little picture under the camera.
Really?
Yeah,
That is psychotic.
So every time you take your eyes off that lens, what you're actually doing is making the people who are watching at home feel that they're missing out on something.
Like they probably did last week when I kept doing this.
Have you ever heard the phrase up on three?
Yes.
Okay, that means what you want to try and avoid is to be looking at my hand, or the stage manager's hand as they count you down, and then on one, when it points to you, go, turn around with a smile. Because it is false, it looks completely rubbish. 5 seconds, 4.
All right, well, coming up after the break, we'll be looking at A4 paper and A3 paper. What's the difference?
Was that real? Did you believe that?
I felt like I was exaggerating.
Too much.
Yeah.
The first thing, unfortunately for you, is if you smile, it just doesn't look like you're reading. So that's bad for autocue.
Oh.
Okay?
So I mustn't smile, but
No, you must smile. You smile.
I must smile.
Yeah, because
okay.
you don't want it to look like you're reading.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Remember, you are controlling it,
Right.
not the other way round.
I am the god
Of the autocue
autocue.
for that little bit of time.
for that moment.
Tiny little bit.
I'll get drunk with power. Coming up next, we'll be talking to people that can communicate with the parallel universe. Do they have a gift, or are they plain insane? I'll see you after the break.
You don't need to express it quite as much
Now,
as
if
you
you
did.
can get a shot of the autocue, there's 3 bloody exclamation marks there. Look at that.
Also, what you do at the end as well, just to tell everybody that you finished, is you like this. You just do a little with your foot.
Like at the end of a song, where
Yeah.
old-fashioned songs where it go ba-dum-ba.
Yeah, that's
Right.
it, like that. Not completely necessary in this day and age. The director is the person who will tell you when you've finished. You keep that persona until you hear cut or clear. There are things you need to work on. I mean, a lot of the time when you're talking to the camera, I don't actually think you're enjoying it.
Right.
Just relax, enjoy what you're doing.
Well, thank you very much.
No, you're welcome.
Cheers.
Cheers.
With Brian's advice lodged safely in my head, I decided to take what I'd learnt and teach some wannabe presenters the tricks of the trade.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
Hi, I'm Jerome.
Hi, my name's Chrissy.
I'm Andy.
If you put your legs slightly apart,
Shoulder width.
you anchor yourself, so you're kind of just, just slightly easy, slightly relaxed. Important thing is not to do what I'm doing now, which is to move around too much. Look down, stare into that sort of unforgiving dark glass eye, as though it's a friend. On 3, you've got to be ready. You've got to be up, you've got to fill yourself up, you've got to be ready to go in 5, 4, up on 3.
Hello, I'm Andy Wooding.
5, 4.
And
I will stop you there. You weren't up on 3.
Right.
Are you going to take this seriously?
I'm trying to.
Right. Okay, we're going to go again. I was deliberately being a bastard that time. Yeah. You see, because this is what producers are like. Sometimes you'll have to deal with somebody who's going to go, "What the f*** was that? What the f***?" You are in command of the auto cue, not the other way around. 5, 4.
Hello, I'm Kelly.
And you're watching Culture Bench. Coming up on tonight's show,
David Jason tells Mark Lawson why he's convinced there's no such thing as bread.
And meet the man who shocked Canterbury by having sex with a duck.
He says the moment he hammered a stiff one through its hot yellow doors, God shook his mind by the hand. We'll be finding out if it's true.
And the late Hermann Goering leads us on a guided tour around the National Museum of Infanticide.
Now, I would say that you hit that last word like a master. If the word infanticide must be bandied around on television, that is the way I want to hear it.
I had no idea it was so difficult to present.
I think it was quite a positive experience. I learned quite a few things, obviously, from someone who is such a good presenter.
Well, coming up after the break, we have a discussion about rainbows and whether there really is a pot of gold at the end. We'll see you soon.
OK, and break.